Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is Jason, certified financial planner and host of Fighting Words Financial. Today, I wanted to talk to you about something that I wasn't really excited about a while ago, but now the excitement's starting to build. I wanted to talk to you guys about Apple's new electric vehicle that, their secret project, Project Titan. This new electric vehicle is probably coming out sometime in 2024. And of course, it's naturally going to be called the iCar. Now, how are they going to produce the iCar? Most people that watch my channel and most people that comment seem to realize that Apple doesn't do any of their own manufacturing. It's all contracted out to third parties. So would they have a manufacturing partnership, and who would it be with? And there's going to be some conjecture there going forward. And look, this is purely conjecture, but I think it's actually pretty informed conjecture. YouTubers make a lot of predictions and then never really seem to suffer the consequences for making predictions that are wildly off. I'm talking about all those videos that are like, hey, you're gonna make 10 times your money this, you're gonna make 100 times your money that. I'm not making that sort of prediction. I never do. What I'm trying to do here is look and see who is the most viable candidate for them to partner with in the future, and I think I've settled on that. But before we get started, I really need to admit something about my relationship with Apple. I have absolutely, consistently, and continuingly called Apple wrong. I've underestimated its cult-like brand appeal and have rather consistently missed the mark on how exactly Apple was going to succeed. There were a number of products that they put out that I thought would fail, would fall completely flat, and I was dead wrong about those. And it really started back a long time ago when I was a software developer in the late 1990s. And I continually decried the lack of software options that you had available for Apple's OS, and I ended up doing most of my work on a PC. I also own a Rio MP3 player. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was an MP3 player. It was about the size of a deck of cards. This was years before there was ever an iPod. And while the Rio MP3 player was a commercially successful product, it really never had mass appeal. And I couldn't understand why that product failed to catch on and the iPod was successful, even though Rio was years ahead of getting to the market than the iPod was. So, and another thing, when the iPhone came out, I was prevented from using an iPhone for years because of the nature of my employment and some security concerns. The early versions of the iPod didn't have a lot of the security software that was written into other types of cell phones. So by the time I actually got my hands on an iPhone, when I was no longer doing that kind of work, top of the line Android phones actually consistently smoked iPhones in benchmark tests. And yet, mysteriously to me, that brand loyalty persisted. I didn't really understand. I would sit there and I would be mesmerized driving by when I'd see these, and confused really when I saw these long lines forming outside of Apple stores before the release of any product. I simply didn't understand the product appeal or brand appeal that wasn't based on technological superiority. And I underestimated the appeal of the brand because they didn't have that superior technology based on objective standards. I certainly recognized, though, an investing opportunity when I saw one, and when I saw that cult appeal and I bought some stock. But because I was never really able to convince myself that Steve Jobs was the techno messiah, like many people could, I never made a fully committed, really outsized purchase of Apple stock. And while I participated some in the upside of Apple to a degree, I really missed out on a chance for some real wealth creation. So to a degree now, I'm done second guessing the awesome power of Apple's brand. I think that no matter what they do, no matter what idea they come up with, no matter what industry they go into, there's a large percentage of Apple enthusiasts and tech enthusiasts that are going to give it a shot just because it's an Apple product. Now, I'll never be that kind of person. I'm just a very skeptical and analytical type, but I recognize that a lot of people are that kind of person. And I finally learned to recognize that the cult brand appeal is every bit as powerful as a technological advantage or a persistent technological advantage or performance edge when it comes to marketing and sales of tech gadgets. In a lot of ways, Apple's car is going to be less meat and potatoes vehicle than it is going to be a tech gadget, and it's going to be really laser focused on that high end when it comes out. That much I can probably predict with accuracy there. But this recognition that I've come to causes me to reevaluate the prospects of future Apple products that have been leaked. And so take what I have to say next with a healthy grain of salt. Of course, I've consistently called Apple wrong, but think about this. Is there an Apple iCar coming in the future based on what we know from the leaks of Project Titan? I think that at this point, that's almost a certainty. The Silicon Valley rumor mill is heating up. That's one of the things you guys should recognize about these companies. Companies that are making these fantastic claims. I worked on sensitive and secret projects long enough to know that no really good secret is ever going to be kept. That's one of the reasons that people started to realize pretty quickly that companies like Nikola really didn't have the technology that they were claiming, because there were no leaks, there were no white papers, there were no patents filed, there weren't random products found and left in bars and things like that. Basically, good secrets never stay secrets for very long. That's why conspiracy theories are mostly just fantasy, and that's why Nikola was fantasy too. But supposedly Apple is going to start building what will almost surely be known as the iCar, and they're looking to start production sometime around 2024. Apple will partner with a third-party manufacturer. They're not going to go out and build their own factory. This is how they do business. This is how they've always done business, and most of their partnerships are in Taiwan and China. So in other words, I actually think that a partnership with Tesla, which a lot of people think this might happen, I think this is highly unlikely. Partially it's because of this. I don't think that it's a coincidence that the stories about Tesla soliciting a buyout from Apple when things looked really bleak a few years ago came out right at the same time these rumors about Apple's secret Project Titan started to heat up with this Reuters story. And I don't think it's mere happenstance that Elon Musk would mention that Tim Cook wouldn't even grant him a meeting in Tesla's darkest hour. I don't think that's an accident at all, and I think Elon holds grudges. Maybe he's not overt about it, but I think that he holds a little bit of a grudge against Tim Cook. And why would you help out someone who's definitely going to be one of your rivals and kind of has this goal of being your rival? Now, I suspect that another company is going to partner with Apple, and I think that the opening moves for this partnership have actually already been made. I think that the most likely candidate for an Apple EV partnership is Volkswagen. It's not NIO, like I know some people are already thinking that it is, but even if they partner with Volkswagen, it's still actually a Chinese manufacturing partnership. All right? So hear me out on this. VW has several joint manufacturing ventures in China already. They have one with the state-owned FAW Auto Group and with SAIC Motors. And VW also had a partnership with, I know I'm going to massacre the pronunciation here, the Anhui Jianghuai Automobile Group Holdings. This company is actually better known as JAC Motors, which was a state-owned company and the manufacturing partner for everyone's favorite Chinese EV company, NIO. But wait, there's more here. Way back in 2018, China announced that it was going to phase out the foreign equity limits in vehicle manufacturing ventures when it comes to new energy vehicles, meaning that they were going to let foreign companies own more than 50% of a car factory in China that had never been done before. Tesla, of course, was the first foreign company to wholly own a factory in China. But as of December 7th of this year, VW is actually the second company to have the second foreign company rather to have majority ownership of a vehicle manufacturer in China. Volkswagen completed the acquisition of an additional 25% of the electric joint venture that Volkswagen had with JAC. It's called JAC Volkswagen Automotive Company, and it brings its total stake up to 75%. Prior to December 7th, VW and JAC both owned 50% of the joint venture, but now VW has full management control over this joint venture. And this joint venture was for the production of electric vehicles. In a separate investment, VW is investing €1 billion into the parent company of that electric vehicle joint venture, which is JAC Motors. So they're now going to own 50% of JAC Motors, 75% of JAC VW Motors. And let me remind you again that JAC is the manufacturing partner for NIO. In yet a third transaction, VW said they're going to pay €1.1 billion to acquire 26.5% of another lesser-known company called, once again, forgive me for the pronunciation, Guoshuan High-Tech. It's a large, if not well-known, maker of electric batteries in China, batteries for electric vehicles in China, and VW is actually going to become its largest shareholder. In conjunction with their investment in QuantumScape, they're making some moves in the battery world. this actually makes a lot of sense for VW as they want to transition their fleet offerings to the NEV model in China. JAC has given, has this native EV manufacturing experience based on their partnership with NIO Motors. And the rumor has it that Apple wants to begin production by 2024. NIO's current contract with JAC Motors will expire sometime in 2023, which means that some of that manufacturing capacity could possibly be freed up if NIO decides to build their own factories. This partnership only makes sense for both parties involved here, with both VW and Tesla. It's two brand names coming together that are pretty well known. In the United States, VW's brand is going to be held better than Apple, and actually in China, I think that sort of brand health there is going to be more equalized, as VW is actually one of the largest car producers in China, unlike in the United States. So VW owns a fine tradition of German mechanical engineering and design when it comes to automobiles. They don't have EV battery manufacturing capabilities right now, but they're certainly making forays into that with their QuantumScape investments and with their investment in this new company in China. VW is actually pretty far behind in terms of software, and to be honest with you, for a number of different reasons, I don't think they can catch up on their own in the software department. I've had a couple of conversations with some younger VW engineers that I happen to know, and they've consistently expressed some frustrations to me regarding institutional inertia in VW, meaning this is just a really old and really large company, and design changes are resisted at every level by older engineers. They're always, trying to step in and say to any proposed design, "What do you mean? We've been doing it like this for 40 years." The manufacturing partnership with JAC has injected some new and fresh perspectives into the older VW company. And I think a partnership with Apple would be mutually beneficial in the same way. So for this partnership, VW is going to bring manufacturing expertise, precision German engineering and design, decades of auto industry experience, and very importantly, a large customer base in China where they are one of the most important and popular brands. Apple is going to be able to provide the software suite, wireless connectivity, artificial intelligence, and machine learning expertise, 7 years of self-driving software research, and perhaps LiDAR technology. We don't really know exactly how their self-driving technology works. And perhaps most importantly, Apple brings a rabidly loyal fan base ready to snap up products aimed at a premium market, which would give VW really a reintroduction of sorts as a technology leader to the US market. And I think this is very important for the future of VW. They are consistently ranked somewhere between 13 and 15 on the list of most popular brands of vehicles inside the United States. They're very popular in China, not so popular here. So I think this reintroduction possibility, as well as the sort of marrying of different capabilities of the companies, would make it so that this partnership would make the most sense at the present time. Having said that though, 2024, while it's a long way away, this is a manufacturing business. You have to plan ahead. I think that VW is already making those moves to plan ahead, and if they're not already in talks, I would be actually surprised if they weren't already in talks to do this. And I think that VW is the most logical partner, VW's China operations are the most logical partner for a manufacturing partnership with Apple and the Apple iCar going forward. Anyway, this is, like I said, pure conjecture. I don't have any inside knowledge. These are just my thoughts. You can tell me how wrong you think I am in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Happy holidays, whatever it is you're celebrating. Every culture has a midwinter festival of some sort. Have a good one.